Priority now ahead of the Ondo Governorship election. The Nigeria Police Force is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a secure and peaceful electoral process. They've deployed commissioners of police to oversee security arrangements in all local government areas across the state. To maintain order, the police have banned certain activities during this election, including the use of sirens, covered number plates, and unauthorized aids or escorts. Local security outfits like Amotekun have also been warned to stay away from election activities with severe consequences for violators. From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, movements will be restricted. Area patrols by helicopters and waterway patrols using gunboats will provide additional support to the ground patrol at the 18 local government areas. Deputy Inspector General of Police Sylvester Alabi has directed the immediate deployment of designated commissioners of police to their respective local government areas.
Control rooms will be manned by the police and relevant security agencies who will be engaged in this electoral process. Through collaborative efforts, we can assure the elections are held fairly and peacefully, free from any form of manipulation or interference, thereby safeguarding the integrity and legitimacy of the electoral outcomes. Vote buying is not an open transaction. Nobody has ever written anything on his face that, please, I want to sell my vote or I want to buy vote. So we need more intelligence. We need more undercover operations to detect this. And our men have been deployed accordingly. They are going to work with EFCC, work with ICPC and other anti-graft agencies who have been deployed for this electoral process.
Force PRO Olumuyiwa Adejobi there. He joins me now live on the program. Thank you for joining us again, ACP Adejobi.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right, so over 20,000 police personnel, we understand, have been deployed for this exercise. What informed this number and how will their strategy differ considering the lessons learned from the Edo election?
Well, like I always say, we don't always like to reveal our numbers, but again that we have more than 22,000 policemen detailed for this assignment, coupled with some officers from various security agencies. We have some officers, plainclothes officers, who are going to carry out undercover operations to support the men that will be seen in various locations. Particularly, we have done deployment to all the 18 local government areas and 3,933 polling units across Ondo State. Well, with what we have, we had more men in Edo State because we did deployment based on our threat analysis. But Ondo is a bit better because the threats received were not as much as what we received in Edo. So we did our deployment too based on threat analysis we have done so far. We always say that every election is a process, it's not a day thing. So we've been aware that we are going to have this election on 16th of November 2024. So we started the process for a very long time. And the IGP has addressed many people, including stakeholders and key actors in this election. So we can compare the two. We deploy a larger number during Edo election, but we have lesser one in Ondo because of the threats we received, not so much. So we are good to go. We have done all deployment like what you saw in during the press briefing and contained in our press statement made available today. The IGP has ordered for more gunboats to take care of the riverine areas and waterways, because we consider and we know that the big body of water in Ondo State is a very big body of water that goes up to rivers, Bayelsa, Badagry, Ekpe, Ikorodu in Lagos State. So it's wide enough, and we need to fortify these areas and most of the waterways coming into Ondo State. And the IGP has given us more helicopters to give us support, because we know that Ondo is having more forest reserves. So we have taken care of this so that we don't want any people to hide in the bush and foment any trouble or come and launch any attack. So we have taken care of so many things like this. Like I said earlier on, that the IGP has ordered the posting of commissioners of police to various local governments. The DIG election has ordered them to proceed today. As I speak with you, the commissioners of police who have been deployed to all local government areas of Ondo State have reported in their various places. They are monitoring movement of electoral materials, both sensitive and non-sensitive materials. We have deployed escort men to protect all of them. We have deployed men to escort all accredited observers, both domestic and international, including the media. Those who are going to partake in this exercise legally are going to be protected by our men, to be supported by operatives from other security agencies. Let me quickly drop this concerning the restriction of movement. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., this one stands. We want to appeal to our people, considering the fact that Ondo State has many highways and very busy roads, particularly those people coming from neighboring countries, Abuja, Kogi, Ekiti, Osun, and what have you. We want to appeal to them to please, they should avoid navigating through Ondo State during this period, because we are going to shut down most of these roads to allow a seamless process tomorrow. So we want to appeal to all Nigerians to please cooperate with us, to support us. We want to appeal to all people, the residents of Ondo State, particularly electorates, to please come out and exercise their franchise. We are here to protect all of you. We are here to protect the process so that we can have a very good history again recorded in Ondo State.
Hopefully, in my lifetime, I will monitor and report elections where we don't have to shut down the roads and economic activities because people are voting. But I guess that's a futuristic mindset. But historically, electoral violence has been a concern. It sounds like you're saying from intelligence gathering, we won't be experiencing much of that tomorrow. But precisely, ACP, how will the police personnel ensure impartiality, especially given the controversies surrounding previous elections? Is this priority for the police?
Well, we always say it, and the IGP has made it clear that the police will always remain professional, apolitical, impartial when it comes to political issues, particularly electoral process. Don't let us always listen to what they say on social media or what we read or hear from various quarters concerning police involvement. Most of them are not factual. They are not realities, because many lie against the police in some areas. We've seen cases where you see videos that are viral, alleging police of snatching ballot boxes. I've not seen where a policeman on uniform will descend so low and be snatching ballot boxes or destroying ballot papers. This is not true in any way. This era of artificial intelligence, this era of technology, anything can happen. We need to be very, very careful before we jump to any conclusion concerning any content we see on social media or in the news. We must, this time around, be very, very careful of fake news, disinformation, and misinformation, and recycling of fake or old videos to create problem or eat up the polity or disrupt the process at this time around. So we don't want to subscribe to the fact that many people are alleging the police wrongly of being involved in electoral malpractices. This is not true. We are out to protect the protest. We don't have interest in any political party. We don't have interest in any candidates whatsoever. Our job as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the provisions of the Electoral Act is to make sure we protect electoral process, remain neutral at all times. And this is what we have been doing. The Nigerian Police Force has very good and robust history of excellence, professionalism in election security management in this country. This is not the first time we are doing it. We have been doing it and will continue to do. So that is not true. We are going to remain professional, and that's why you see that we have given a particular dress code to all our men to turn out in this dress code for this exercise. We have given card to them, ID card to them. They are going to hang these cards on their neck tomorrow so that we will know these are policemen who are on assignment for this exercise. So I don't want us to dwell in the past and continue to say policemen always they are partial when it comes to issues like this. It is not true, but we need to be mindful that this is the era of artificial intelligence. They can crop up anything, they can generate any content to malign and discredit the status and standard of the Nigerian police force. We are going to remain apolitical, we're going to remain professional and impartial in this process.
I hear you clearly. I'm hoping that police is also not assuming that everything online is wrong and is AI generated. I want to believe that the police is also very comprehensive and paying so much attention to details in that regard. But one of the things you have mentioned in an earlier broadcast has to do with activities that have been banned during the election, one of which is unauthorized aids or escorts. Does this apply to high-ranking political officers, governors, and what have you, who usually will come into states like Ondo on election days like this?
Well, I don't think any VIP will move like that from another state during the election period, particularly Saturday 16, that is tomorrow. But the IGP has made it clear.
They usually come in before election, ACP. If you can hear me, they usually come in before election. We saw it in Edo, where multiple governors come to rally around the political party. I'm saying that, do they also still have access to their escorts and their police aids?
The ban only for movements during the electoral process. Anybody who has security aids can move with security men, but not during this time frame of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, 16th November 2024. We don't expect any VIP to move with his aids, either from the police, from DSS, for any security agency. This has been the practice, and this matter has been discussed at the level of ISS, that is Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. We have been able to talk at this level because it's going to help us. We don't want anybody to move with a large number of security aids, not to intimidate the process, to intimidate electorates who are on the queue to cast their vote, or to intimidate anybody. It is reasonable when we have, just for instance, you don't expect even a governor to go out with all his escort men, large number of convoy. We just want him to go with very few vehicles and possibly the ADC or the orderly or the chief detail. But going with large number of men, 10, 30, 15, will not help this time around. We just need to be very civil at this point in time. We need to be very, very patriotic so that we will be able to make sure that we allow security agencies, we allow INEC, that is conducting the election, to have a perfect system, a perfect or more secure environment to conduct this election. So we want to urge them, for those who enjoy security aids, to please take note of this order from the Inspector General of Police. It is for the good of all of us, both the security men, security agencies, electorate, political parties, even the VIPs. It's going to help us to have a very seamless process. And the use of siren should be, the IGP has said it, for those who are not on emergency assignment or essential services, you don't expect any individual to be blaring sirens and harassing everybody in the street or harassing anybody at the polling units. We just want us to be civil enough, we want us to be patriotic enough, I want us to be responsible enough at this time so that I can help security agencies, help the INEC to do the right thing. And this is what we have done.
All right.
The announcement has been made enough, and I think whoever that violates this will face the consequences.
I hear you, ACP. It sounded a lot more like we're counting on the governors to know what to do and to be able to, not throw caution in the wind. But you mentioned that at least 4 police officers, in collaboration with other security personnel, will be present at each polling unit to ensure a smooth poll. Speak to us about what the standard operating procedure is for them, because we've heard allegations like policemen spying to know which party a voter votes for in collaboration with party agents and what have you. What is expected of them? what is their rule of engagement, and what are the limitations that they have on Saturday?
For so far, so good. Before now, the IGP has arranged and approved series of trainings for our men that will be deployed for this exercise. They have been trained on the standard operating procedure and guidelines on election security management. This, like I said, is not the first time we've been conducting and managing elections like this. So I want to reaffirm that our men that have been detailed, that have been deployed for this exercise, will follow the standard operating procedure strictly. They will work and exercise their duties within the ambit of the law, in line with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2023 as amended. So we don't want, and let me say again, that in case we want to have some deviance out of our men that have been deployed, it's not unlikely. The IGP has ordered the CP, the Provost Marshal from the headquarters, to deploy Provost officers from various units to monitor the election too. Don't forget, the Ministry of Police Affairs have sent out men to monitor. The Service Commission has sent out men to monitor. So we have many teams that will go out to monitor our men and supervise the conduct of policemen. Not only policemen, we have so many teams that will monitor the conduct of security operatives deployed for this exercise. So with what we have on ground, with the arrangement we have, I don't think any one of our men will want to misbehave. But for anyone who misbehaves, today we have rolled out some numbers, helplines to members of the public, particularly the Ondo residents, to please get across to us. The number of the DIG election has been publicized. The number of AIG election has been publicized. The number of CP election too has been publicized. And the control room numbers. And Nigeria Police Force platforms are very active for people to get across to us. We can't rule out the fact that perhaps you may see one or two persons from our men that may want to misbehave. We can't rule out that fact, but whatever it is, our men are out there to monitor them and supervise their activities.
So how are they expected to engage in the case of voter inducement, people sharing money at the polling unit? Do they arrest, or do they look away, or is that part of their responsibility or exclusively for EFCC operatives?
Not exclusively for EFCC operatives or any of the grant agency. All of us are members of ISS, particularly the federal government security outfits, not state-owned or not any quasi security operative, but those who are members of ISS, they are actively involved. Those members are out there to even look for whoever they want to induce voters, or they want to buy votes or to sell votes, as the case may be. So we are not leaving this to AFCC alone or ICPC to do. We have some plainclothes officers under the Department of Force Intelligence Department, and some of them from the Force Criminal Investigation Department. Don't forget, the DIG election is the DIG in charge of Force CID, and coordinating DIG for Southwest. So the IGP has mandated him to come with many plainclothes officers who are going to be carrying out undercover operations and still look for whoever that want to induce voters or to buy votes. So we are out there, but don't forget, vote buying is a silent operation. It's just like a silent robbery. You won't know that somebody is even actually trying to canvass or to sell or buy votes close to you. But we need intelligence. We need members of the public. We need stakeholders to please alert security operatives anywhere they are, anywhere they notice anything like that. Don't forget, anytime we had election of this type, we always arrested people. In Edo, it was done. In Bayelsa, it was done. In Imo, we arrested some. And if anybody comes out tomorrow again, we are going to arrest the person. It's not that policemen will look away. No, we can't look away, because vote buying is a criminal offense. It's an act of electoral offense that must be curtailed, and that's why we are not going to look away. We have told our men to do that, but for where it's difficult for them to do, members of the public should please allow them so that they will do the needful. They are duly informed and they know the right thing to do.
I hear you when you say it happens undercover, but we've also seen a couple of videos where it happens in the open, where people actually distribute this money in the open, and some of them have been captured on camera and shared online. But speak to us about the level of collaboration that is happening right now between police and other security agencies that will be securing or that will be out on Saturday to maintain peace and order for this election.
Multi-agency collaboration is very key under this administration, either from the federal government or security circle in Nigeria. You will recollect that this was a clear mandate and instruction given to all of us by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that all security agencies must work together. And this is what we have been doing. On this election, we have our, like I said, we have ISS that coordinates activities of all stakeholders, including INEC officials and security operatives. We have been having series of meetings before now. We are on the same page, and we are working so hard to make sure all of us achieve a common goal. The Operation Order has captured all security agencies, including the armed forces, who have their own civic responsibility to carry out during this electoral process. They have their job to protect critical infrastructures. They have their duty to protect or to enforce restriction of movement. And where we have other agencies, we are going to mix our men together and post them to various polling units. Where you have 1 or 2 or 3 police men at the polling units, you are going to have 1 or 2 operatives from other security agencies to join them. Like I said, we have 3,933 polling units, and all these polling units have been taken care of. We cannot do it alone. The police cannot do it alone as the lead agency in election security management. So that's why other security agencies are enshrined in our laws, most of our external laws, that they can support the police to make sure we have perfect security arrangement for any electoral process in Nigeria. This is what we have done. We have a series of meetings. Yesterday, the DIG election met all of them. Today, they have met again with all observers, civil society organizations, and even the media, for them to know the plans we have, and of course, for them to see that the synergy is perfect, and we are working together to make sure Ondo 2024 is a success, and it's a success already.
Well, I'm sure that residents and electorate in Ondo will be counting on that on election day and even post-voting. But what kind of collaboration precisely are you soliciting from Ondo residents in the way of intelligence gathering, which police itself has emphasized as important in this election?
Well, we want to appeal to all, whatever party you belong to, whatever class you belong to in our society in Ondo State, to see that we need to have our own civil responsibility as a resident in Ondo State by sharing prompt and actionable intelligence or information with us. We cannot be everywhere. Fine, we have deployed our men, but we cannot still be everywhere. We want to appeal to all of them to please support the police and other agencies, support the INEC to make sure we have a free, fair, and credible electoral process in Ondo tomorrow, 16 November 2024. We rely on all of them, and we hope we are going to work together to make it a success again. It's a collective responsibility. We need to work together to make it a success, and that's what we can do for ourselves.
Precisely, how can they reach the police on election day? Are there numbers to call? ACP, I'm asking if there are numbers that people can call to reach the police in cases where they have issues to report.
Well, please, you may wish to check the press statement we made today. The clips, I made announcement of some of these numbers. So you may likely just check your record, check your archives, you are going to see them there. We have like almost 4 or 5 numbers that we have rolled out today, and we have publicized these numbers. And all the Nigeria Police Force social media handles are very, very active this time around for this election. So all of them, they can visit us and follow us on our handles, visit our website, and of course make use of the numbers we have rolled out for them to use. So all the numbers are there, please.
PRO ACP Olubuyiwa Adejobi, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best ahead of the election tomorrow.
Thank you so much, and remain blessed.
That's our program today. Join us again tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. as we open the studio for our coverage of the Ondo Governorship election analysis. We have our correspondents across all the 18 local government areas in Ondo, and it's going to be a must-watch. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. See you again soon.